Kyrie Irving is no longer a Brooklyn Net. That's right. The news has officially dropped. I wanted to wait for this video so I could get more details to talk about, but we're officially here. Kyrie Irving is no longer a Brooklyn Net. In this video, we're going to get into the breakdown of the trade from both sides, also what it means for the NBA landscape. So before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support that I get, but let's get right into the video. The Nets traded Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris to the Dallas Mavericks for a return of a 2027 second-round pick and a 2029 unprotected first-round pick and second-round pick. And they also traded Spencer Dinwiddie and, last but not least, their best perimeter defender, Dorian Finney-Smith, in a return for Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. So that's it. We're officially here. Kyrie Irving's tenure with the Brooklyn Nets is officially over. There's two sides to talk about, actually three, but I first want to lead with the Dallas Mavericks side of this trade. This is a crazy trade. This is a blockbuster trade, because what have people been saying the longest about the Dallas Mavericks? They have been saying Luka Doncic needs a second guy around him who can create offense, consistently get their own shot, and just be a star-level shot maker on this team. So Luka Doncic does not have to play Luka ball and give Luka magic for a consistent 4 quarters without having another guy who can help alleviate some of the defensive pressure off of him. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, I totally get why they make a move like this, even if Kyrie is just a rental. Because let's just face the facts. This Dallas roster is a roster full of mid-NBA players. And when I say mid, I'm speaking in terms of winning a title. It's filled with a lot of good role players and Luka Doncic, who helps this team go. But in terms of winning a championship, having another guy to take the pressure off is very, very, very important. The only issue is the Dallas Mavericks have traded their defense and their shooting depth a little bit to get Kyrie Irving. And putting Kyrie Irving in the backcourt with Luka Doncic is a great first step towards that goal. Even though I do believe there's more work to do, I think this Dallas team is still going to be trying to make moves all trade deadline to make this roster as good as it can be for this year's playoffs. But let's get to the Nets side, because, man, there is a lot of details there. But now let's get to the other side of this trade, the Brooklyn Nets. Joe Tsai officially made it known that he had strained relations with Kyrie, and we've kind of known that. But for him to trade Kyrie Irving for this trade package for the Dallas Mavericks, it kind of speaks to Kyrie's tenure in Brooklyn, the hardships he's had with the front office, and also the turbulence of their season all throughout. So from my perspective, the trade is really based on the Brooklyn Nets idea that they can win a championship with Kevin Durant as long as they have a bunch of depth around him, with him as the centerpiece. Me personally, I disagree with this heavily. I think Kevin Durant can only win a championship if he has a top 15 player and a good roster. And quite frankly, with Ben Simmons making $35 million, with 2 more years of guaranteed money, a big salary, I don't believe they're going to be able to outfit the roster with these balanced pieces that's going to move the needle against a team like the 76ers, the favorites in the East, the Boston Celtics, or even the Milwaukee Bucks. So ultimately, this was not a win-now move that you make unless they're trying to make another splash for some other star, which I really do not see in the cards for Brooklyn. I think that we've seen a lot of saving of the future, and I think for the Brooklyn Nets, this is really just a move to get Kyrie away from the roster since he requested a trade, and this was you getting as much value as you could for a player that you did not want to extend and did not want to pay anyway. So for the Brooklyn Nets, from that perspective, I guess you can call it a win, even though, in my opinion, this really opens up the biggest domino that has yet to fall, Kevin Durant. In the offseason, as we know, Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets because he did not believe that this team was adequately gunning after a championship, considering how things were ran, the players they acquired, the players that they let go, and ultimately where the roster stacked up in comparison to all the other teams. So he requested a trade. But now that they've done this move, Kyrie Irving, who was a very efficient player, averaging 28 with Kevin Durant, they both went on an amazing winning streak of games, 12 plus, now there is no Kyrie. So when Kevin Durant comes back, he's going to have to play extended minutes. He's going to have to really play his best basketball to keep this game in flow, in rhythm, and then ultimately do the same thing in the playoffs if this team is able to make it that far. In my opinion, it's very realistic that Kevin Durant looks at this and says, I want to be gone as well. But I don't think the Nets are going to be able to trade Kevin Durant within 6 days. So I think the sad reality is KD is going to have to play out this year in Brooklyn. But then in free agency, we're going to see if Kevin Durant really winds up being dealt. The first domino with Kyrie has fallen. It's really going to be on Kevin Durant to see if he's going to take the Damian Lillard approach, where he stays in Brooklyn and just tries to play it out and trust them to build around him, or if he turns ship. That has yet to be seen, but that, in my opinion, is the full picture of the Brooklyn side of things. Third perspective, however, and probably the funniest of this video, is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are a team that routinely has gone through so much front office incompetence over the past 2 years with the acquiring of Russell Westbrook and not an adequate roster around LeBron James and Anthony Davis, with the overvaluing of players in THT, not trading them at the right times and then trading them when their value is much lower. But then ultimately, even now with this move, this is another sign of Lakers front office not showing themselves to be a viable option to create a good team around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The initial offer from the Lakers was Russell Westbrook, 2 unprotected first-round picks, and that was going to be the package. However, the Nets countered and said that they wanted Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and pick swaps on top of that package. And to me, that might sound like a lot that you have to give up, right? Pick swaps, Christie, Reeves, Westbrook, 2 unprotected. That sounds like a lot. But when you have LeBron James playing the best basketball, like a top 5 caliber play in the regular season, and you have Anthony Davis, who before he got hurt was playing as the best player on this Lakers team and also as a top 5 player, this is a move you make. You might be overpaying, but this is not a overpay, because truth be told, the Lakers would not be trading for just Kyrie Irving. The Lakers are really trading for Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. And the image of a team like that elevates them automatically into championship contention. And if you're saying the goal is to win with LeBron James at age 38 and Anthony Davis with his injury concerns, you would want to pull the trigger on a deal like that now. If you've been watching the channel, my take on this has always been the Lakers shouldn't trade those picks for nothing, because I viewed those 2 unprotecteds as their gateway to elevating the roster with a significant, substantial upgrade piece. Kyrie Irving was that piece. But now that Kyrie Irving is on the Dallas Mavericks, unless the Lakers are able to somehow land him in free agency, which is more doubtful now than ever, this is a very bad move. Because now that they have these picks, they're basically saying we didn't want to throw in Austin Reeves and Max Christie and the pick swaps. Max Christie, a player that has been getting DNPs for the Lakers, and Austin Reeves, a good role player for the Lakers who's hurt. So based off of that logic, the Lakers now put themselves in a very precarious position where now the pressure is on them to make a move this season to get Russell Westbrook off of their roster for this season and to somehow outfit this roster with something that can be good for this year or something in free agency that can make them good for 2024. I feel bad for all the Lakers fans that had to go through, all this yin yang back and forth. But at the same time, it feels kind of sweet because there were a lot of them just thinking that it already was going to be a done deal and things just did not go that way. The NBA, if you love this sport, it really flips as we go on through a whole lot of these things. So it's very interesting and I'm keeping my eye on this situation. But again, for the Dallas Mavericks, this is a deal that's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, regardless of how long Kyrie stays. Getting to see Kyrie and Luka play basketball is a very fun privilege, and I think as basketball fans, we should take a minute to sit back and just watch that basketball come to fruition. So for me, I'm going to be watching that. I feel bad for Lakers fans, and I kind of feel bad for Nets fans as well, considering that move could potentially spell the end of Brooklyn with Kevin Durant out the door. But that's overall the trade. Those are my thoughts on the trade. I believe that the Mavericks won this trade pretty easily, but obviously we have to see what plays out in the future. If you like this video, subscribe. I can't control you, but it does help me grow. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. There's a lot more content. We have to talk about the full Brooklyn Nets 30 for 30 experience, and I'm going to probably make a YouTube breakdown on that as well. But make sure to tap in. I got some more videos and breakdowns coming this week. Peace out, people.